Have you ever stood in your kitchen holding a loaf of bread and quietly asked yourself, can I still eat this? If you're over 50 and managing blood sugar or living with diabetes, that moment of hesitation probably feels all too familiar. Bread used to be comfort, a warm slice with butter in the morning, a soft roll with soup at dinner. But somewhere along the way, it turned into something to fear, something you were told to give up. What if I told you that not all bread is the enemy? That with the right knowledge, the bread could actually support your health without the guilt? In this video, I'll walk you through 5 types of everyday bread that are not only safe, but surprisingly good for blood sugar and digestion. You'll also learn which common loaves to avoid and how to make smarter choices without giving up the flavors you love. So stay with me, because this might just change the way you feel about bread and about eating well at any age. If this resonates with you, hit like and subscribe for more health content made for your stage of life. And in the comments, tell me, have you ever struggled to give up a food you love? I'd love to hear your story. Why giving up bread hurts more than we admit. For many of us, bread wasn't just food. It was part of our mornings, our family meals, our quiet comfort on hard days. A piece of toast next to a cup of coffee, a soft roll passed around the dinner table. These weren't just calories. They were rituals, moments that made us feel safe, steady, connected. But then came the warnings. Too many carbs, too much sugar. Cut the bread. Especially if you have diabetes or blood sugar concerns. And so we did what we thought we had to do. We stopped buying it. We skipped it at breakfast. We pushed it aside at family gatherings, telling ourselves it was the responsible thing to do. What no one talks about is what happens next. The quiet loss that comes with that decision, not just the hunger, the feeling that a small, familiar part of life has gone missing, the joy of warm toast with butter, the smell of banana bread on a Sunday, the comfort of something simple and known. It's not just a dietary change. It's an emotional shift. And for many, it can feel like one more thing that aging takes away. That's the real cost of fear. Based health advice, it tells you to run from things without asking how they fit into your life, without asking what they meant to you. And when you remove that meaning, you don't just lose food. You lose ease. You lose trust. You lose the small pleasures that make you feel like yourself. For people over 50, especially those managing diabetes, bread has become a symbol of guilt, a reminder of what they used to enjoy but now believe they can't have. And that guilt doesn't help you make better choices. It just adds stress. It disconnects you from food and turns eating into a constant negotiation. But here's the truth. The problem isn't bread itself. It's the kind of bread. It's the lack of clear, honest guidance on what supports your health versus what quietly harms it. When we focus only on restriction, we miss the opportunity to learn, to adapt, and to choose smarter. Giving up bread entirely isn't always necessary, and for many, it creates more emotional weight than physical benefit. What we need isn't more fear, we need clarity. We need options that feel familiar, satisfying, and safe. Because food isn't just about managing numbers, it's about honoring your story, your habits, and your humanity. So before you cut bread out of your life completely, ask yourself what it's really costing you, not just in terms of blood sugar, but in joy, routine, and self-respect. You deserve food that supports your health and still feels like home. You deserve to feel nourished, not punished, And that starts by learning which breads actually love you back. The 5 best breads for blood sugar and comfort. E. Sprouted grain bread. Sprouted grain bread may not look like the bread you grew up with. It's darker, denser, a little rugged around the edges, but don't let that fool you. Behind its earthy crust is one of the most supportive choices you can make for your health, especially if you're managing blood sugar. Unlike regular white or wheat bread, sprouted grain bread starts from whole grains that are allowed to sprout before they're ground and baked. That small change creates a big shift in how your body responds. It lowers the bread's impact on your blood sugar and unlocks more of the nutrients inside the grain. For anyone over 50, especially those dealing with diabetes or prediabetes, that matters a lot. As we age, digestion slows down. Our bodies become more sensitive to what we eat. Foods that used to sit fine now leave us tired or foggy. Sprouted grain bread respects those changes. It digests more slowly, which means no sharp spikes, no crashes, just steady energy you can actually feel. But this isn't just about numbers or nutrients. This is about reclaiming something you may have given up. Bread that feels wholesome. Bread that fills you up and leaves you feeling good. Not bloated. Not guilty. Just satisfied. What makes it special is the fiber and protein it brings. That's what helps balance blood sugar. That's what keeps you fuller longer. And that's what helps you stop chasing snacks all day just to stay afloat. It gives you back control in a way that doesn't feel like restriction. You can toast it and top it with almond butter and cinnamon. Layer it with sliced avocado and a pinch of sea salt. Or keep it simple with a poached egg and cracked pepper. These aren't sacrifices. They're rituals. Small daily choices that remind your body it's still worthy of nourishment, not punishment. Many people tell me that switching to sprouted grain bread changed the way they thought about eating. For the first time in years, they could enjoy a slice of bread without second guessing. Every bite, it brought back a little of the joy, a little of the ease. So if you've been afraid of bread, this might be your starting point. It's familiar, but smarter, comforting, but deeply suppurative. And most importantly, it allows you to return to the table without fear. That kind of peace is worth every bite. R. Oat bread. Oat bread is often overlooked. It doesn't shout for attention or come with flashy labels. But for those of us over 50, especially if we're watching our blood sugar, oat bread might be one of the quietest, strongest allies on the shelf. Oats are naturally rich in a type of fiber called beta-glucan. It works by slowing down how fast your body digests carbohydrates. That means steadier blood sugar, fewer spikes, and longer, lasting energy throughout the day. For anyone managing diabetes, that kind of stability can change everything. But oat bread doesn't just help your body, it helps your spirit too. Its soft texture and mild, slightly sweet taste feel familiar, like something you've known your whole life. Toast it lightly and add a bit of almond butter with cinnamon, and you've got more than breakfast. You've got a moment of calm. It's also easier on the stomach than many other types of bread. For seniors who struggle with digestion, oat bread brings relief. It's naturally gluten-free when made with pure oats. And many versions combine oats with other whole grains for added strength. Less bloating, less discomfort, more comfort in every slice. Oat bread also supports more than blood sugar. It brings with it iron, magnesium, and B, vitamins that your body craves as you age. Nutrients that help your heart, your brain, your energy levels, things you might not feel instantly, but they add up Slowly, gently, like strength rebuilding from the inside out. Eating oat bread is not about following a trend. It's about returning to a food that feels honest. It fits into a quiet morning routine or a light afternoon snack. It doesn't demand much, just your attention and your trust. So if you've been afraid to eat bread, oat bread is a soft place to begin again. It's easy to find in most grocery stores, and even easier to make at home if you're feeling adventurous. Pair it with foods you love and feel how it supports you. Not just physically, but emotionally too. The power of oat bread lies in how it meets you where you are. It offers what so many of us need in this stage of life. Not perfection, but balance. Not restriction, but support. And in that gentle strength, you just might find the confidence to bring bread back to your table. San, whole wheat cinnamon raisin. There's something about cinnamon raisin bread that brings back a feeling. Maybe it's a memory of fall mornings. The scent of cinnamon drifting through the house. Or the warmth of toast on a quiet Sunday. It's sweet, soft, and comforting. But for many people over 50, especially those managing blood sugar, it's also one of the first things they've been told to give up. That warning makes sense if we're talking about the wrong kind of bread. Most commercial cinnamon raisin loaves are loaded with added sugar and made from refined flour. They taste good for a moment, but don't do your body any favors. They spike your blood sugar, then leave you feeling sluggish or guilty. But that doesn't mean all cinnamon raisin bread is off the table. When made with whole wheat flour and a little intention, it becomes something else entirely. A slice that still tastes sweet but supports your health at the same time. A way to enjoy flavor and still protect your blood sugar. Whole wheat flour brings back the fiber that refined flour strips away. That fiber slows down digestion and gives your body time to handle natural sugars more gently. Raisin. 2. Carry more than sweetness. They add antioxidants and small amounts of fiber that soften their impact on your system. The real surprise, though, is cinnamon. It's not just there for flavor. Cinnamon can actually help regulate blood sugar. It supports better insulin response and steadier energy. It's a spice with a purpose. And when paired with whole grains and a balanced portion, it helps turn a once risky food into a thoughtful, nourishing choice. You don't need to eat a lot. Just one slice. Maybe warmed and topped with a little almond butter or plain Greek yogurt. That small pairing of protein and healthy fat helps even more by balancing how your body absorbs the carbohydrates. It's not a trick. It's just a smarter way to enjoy what you love. What matters most here is permission. The ability to say yes to something that once felt off. Limits. To enjoy a piece of your past without fear. To taste sweetness and know it won't come at the cost of your health. Cinnamon raisin bread, when chosen well, isn't a cheat. It's a bridge between who you were and who you're becoming, between memory and intention. And that's what makes it more than a treat. It's a gentle reminder that the foods we love don't have to disappear. They just need to evolve with us. C. Banana nut bread. The smell of banana bread baking can bring back memories in an instant. A quiet kitchen. A worn mixing bowl. A sense of comfort that feels safe and warm. For many of us, it was the taste of home. But when you're living with diabetes or worried about blood sugar, banana bread is often one of the first things that disappears from the table. That's because most banana bread recipes use white flour and a lot of sugar. They look innocent, but can hit your blood sugar hard. You might enjoy the taste, but the crash comes soon after. And over time, and those choices add up in ways your body can't ignore. But what if banana bread didn't have to be off? Limits. What if, with a few smart changes, it could support your health instead of working against it? This isn't about cutting joy out of your diet. It's about rebuilding a favorite food with ingredients that respect your body's needs. Start with almond flour or oat flour instead of white flour. These flours are naturally higher in fiber and protein, helping your body process the bread more slowly. Use 1 or 2 very ripe bananas for sweetness. That's often enough. Skip the added sugar or replace it with a touch of raw honey if needed. Add in chopped walnuts. They bring healthy fats, magnesium, and a satisfying crunch. Walnuts also support heart health and insulin sensitivity. And a small amount goes a long way. A dash of cinnamon doesn't just deepen the flavor. It also helps keep blood sugar steady. Even a pinch of sea salt helps round out the taste and gives balance to every bite. The result is a banana nut bread that's soft, slightly sweet, and deeply satisfying. You can enjoy it warm, with a spoonful of plain Greek yogurt, or a few slices of fresh berries, or wrap a slice for later and have it with tea. It becomes a part of your routine, not a break from it. The beauty of this version is how it reconnects you to something you thought you had to give up. Not just the food, but the feeling, the comfort, the ease. It shows you that health doesn't mean leaving everything behind. Sometimes it just means making new choices with old favorites. Banana nut bread, when made with care, can be more than a snack. It can be a symbol of how far you've come, of how much you still deserve to enjoy, and of how every step toward wellness can still taste like home. Whoa! Sourdough. Sourdough bread has been around for centuries. Long before the supermarket shelves filled with plastic wrapped loaves, people were baking sourdough at home, using simple ingredients, giving it time to rise slowly, letting nature do the work. And now, this ancient method is proving more relevant than ever, especially for those of us managing blood sugar. What makes sourdough different isn't just the flavor. It's the fermentation. Traditional sourdough is made with wild yeast and lactic acid bacteria. During the long rise, those microbes break down much of the starch and gluten. That means the bread is easier to digest, gentler on your system, and much less likely to cause the blood sugar spikes that come from more processed breads. This is especially helpful as we age. Our digestion slows. Our bodies become more sensitive, and we may struggle to absorb nutrients like we used to. The good news is, sourdough helps with that too. The fermentation process makes minerals like magnesium and zinc more available to your body. These nutrients support energy, immune strength, and steady blood sugar, things many of us quietly start to lose over time. But sourdough offers more than physical support. It also feeds your gut. During fermentation, prebiotics are formed. These are special fibers that nourish the healthy bacteria in your digestive tract and gut health. As many now understand, affects more than digestion. It plays a role in mood, clarity, inflammation, and how we process sugar. What makes sourdough feel special is also how it tastes. The slightly tangy flavor, the chewy inside and crispy crust. It doesn't feel like diet food. It feels like real food. A slice of something honest and nourishing. Something you can sit down with and actually enjoy. Serve it warm with a little olive oil and cracked pepper. Use it to build a sandwich with avocado and turkey. Or simply enjoy it with a bowl of soup on a slow afternoon. The point is, you don't have to treat it like a cheat. You can make it part of your daily rhythm. Of course, not all sourdough is the same. Look for versions with just a few simple ingredients. flour, water, salt, no added sugars or preservatives. Or try making your own at home. Many people over 50 find joy in baking again. In the process, in the patience, in creating something that feels alive, sourdough doesn't just nourish your body. It gives you a sense of trust, a connection to food that's both old and wise, and that's the kind of bread we need more of. Bread that supports, that heals, and that reminds us the best answers are sometimes the oldest ones, the breads to watch out for. Not all bread is created with your health in mind. While some support stable blood sugar and digestion, others can quietly disrupt your progress. And for those over 50, especially with diabetes or blood sugar concerns, learning which breads to avoid is a powerful step toward feeling better every day. Let's begin with white bread. It's soft, cheap, and often reminds us of childhood meals. But it's made from highly refined flour, stripped of fiber and nutrients. That lack of fiber means it digests fast and causes a quick rise in blood sugar. You might enjoy the taste, but the energy crash that follows often leaves you foggy, irritable, and craving more. Next are the called light or low calorie breads. These products often sound like a good choice, but many of them cut calories by adding fillers, extra starches, or artificial ingredients that your body doesn't process well. While they may be low in fat, they can have a high impact on your blood sugar, especially when eaten regularly. Then there are the bakery style breads. Think cinnamon swirl, blueberry bagels, or honey, glazed loaves. They might smell delicious, but they're often closer to dessert than real nourishment. High in sugar and made with refined flour. They deliver a fast jolt to your system with little lasting value. Even multigrain bread isn't always what it seems. Unless the label says 100% whole grain or whole wheat as the first ingredient, it might just be white bread in disguise, colored brown with molasses or caramel coloring. These loaves can look healthy, but lack the fiber and structure your body needs to process sugar slowly. And finally, beware of breads marketed as diabetes friendly or keto. These labels can be misleading. Always check the ingredients. The longer the list, especially with unfamiliar or artificial names, the more likely it's been heavily processed. Simpler is better. Your body understands real food more easily. Avoiding these types of bread doesn't mean living in fear. It means being more aware of what supports you and what slows you down. Once you know what to look for, shopping gets easier. Meals feel more satisfying, and your energy becomes more steady. This isn't about saying no to everything you love. It's about clearing space for better choices. Breads that bring comfort without the crash. And most of all, choices that leave you feeling in control, not confused. That's the kind of knowledge that leads to lasting change. Somewhere along the way, we were taught to fear food instead of understand it, especially as we get older, especially when we hear the word diabetes. The advice starts to sound like a list of restrictions. Don't eat this, cut out that, and bread. Bread gets pushed to the top of the list of things to avoid. But here's the truth. The problem isn't bread itself. It's how we've been told to think about it. We've been handed rules with no explanation. We've been told to cut things out without being shown what to bring in. So we stop trusting food. We start second, guessing every bite, and we carry a quiet sense of fear into every meal. That kind of relationship with food isn't healthy. Not for your body, and certainly not for your spirit. Because food is not just fuel, it's memory. It's tradition. It's a way we connect with people and with ourselves. So when we give up certain foods without understanding the full picture, we're not just changing our diet. We're giving up little parts of our lives. The bigger truth is, you deserve clarity, not confusion. You deserve to know why some breads spike your blood sugar and why others don't. You deserve to know that slow digesting in fiber, rich, naturally made bread can actually support your energy, your digestion, and your long-term health. This isn't about going back to the way things were. It's about moving forward with new knowledge and better tools. Choosing bread isn't just about carbs. It's about how your body responds, how you feel after you eat. Whether you walk away from the table feeling grounded or foggy. The real shift comes when you stop asking what you're allowed to eat and start asking what makes you feel well. That shift changes everything. It puts you back in control. It turns food from a source of stress into something you can trust again. Many people think getting older means settling for less. Less comfort, less pleasure, less choice. But that's not true. Aging well means choosing differently, not giving up joy. It means learning what supports you and letting that guide your habits. So when it comes to bread or anything else on your plate, ask yourself, does this nourish me? Not just physically, but emotionally too. Because your health is about more than blood sugar. It's about your quality of life, your confidence, your calm. You are not too old to learn something new. You are not too late to make a change. And you are certainly not alone. This is about reclaiming your relationship with food and with yourself. With care, with clarity, with strength. And that journey starts with truth, not fear. You've just learned that bread doesn't have to be the enemy. With the right knowledge, it can actually support your health, your comfort, and your peace of mind. From sprouted grain to sourdough, there are real options that respect your body and your stage of life. You don't need to feel lost every time you walk down the bread aisle. You need clarity. You need to feel empowered, not restricted. And most of all, you need to feel that your health journey can still include joy. If you found something in this video that helped you, please take a moment to like and subscribe. It lets us keep creating content made for real people like you. And in the comments, tell me one thing you're ready to bring back to your kitchen. Let's support each other in making food feel like a friend again. Because you're well. Being still matters. And your choices still hold power.